The bounce back for the Toronto Raptors next season is going to be something beautiful to watch. I think a lot of people forgot about them. They saw the trades. I think they were waiting for all the trades. I think we've all been waiting for all the trades. OG, Pascal, see how the team was going to look afterwards. But when you look at the makeup of this roster, you have to be really intrigued in just how good this team can be. I want to dive into that in this video. I used to do a lot of Toronto content about a couple of years ago, but I think I was waiting for all the smoke to clear like everyone else and kind of got into some other, Detroit Pistons content. But I think I want to really follow this organization because I've always said I really enjoy organizations that are just well ran. It's far easier to enjoy the product that you're seeing when you actually see quality decisions being made at the top because that affects everything that happens beneath. I understand the whole journey, from Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, all that all the way through. I totally do. And last season was a bit of a mosh posh of like, okay, when is this guy leaving? Make sure you're getting best value for him. And I understand that they were like, look, we're trying to see what Scotty can do. And there was a lot of transitioning, a lot of moving pieces. And so they missed the playoffs. They missed the play-in altogether. But the bounce back is going to be beautiful. The bounce back is going to be something that I think a lot of us are going to enjoy. I think Scotty Barnes is going to be an all-star for sure. I think we're going to see either Emmanuel Quickly or RJ Barrett be something close to an all-star, if not both of them close to being an all-star. And I think that this is a team that's going to be looking at probably the seventh or eighth seed, right? Are they better than, let's say, the top Boston, Milwaukee, Indiana? Are they better than Philly, New York, even Cleveland if they keep it together, or Orlando? I think right now I would have to say no. But let me say that with like an asterisk, right? Let me say that with a qualifier because depending upon the jump that these guys make, remember these guys are still young, right? Extremely young. You've got RJ Barrett is 23 years old. Scotty Barnes is 22 years old, right? Emmanuel Quickly is 24 years old. These guys are not in their prime. They are nowhere near their prime. They've got a few more years, right? Quickly's got about another 2 to 3 years before he's in his prime, usually around like 26, 27, 28, all the way up to 30, 31, 32. That's really considered the prime of a player's career. These guys are 22, 23, and 24, respectively. This is the core. This is who they're expecting to be a high level contributor, to be their leading scorers for the foreseeable future. And to have a core like this that you're almost guaranteed is going to be 20 plus points per game scores all the way through is something that should excite all fans. If you're a Raptors fan, you should be extremely excited. But I think the other part that I'm also excited about is the complementary supporting cast. You have a lot of really quality veterans who are still in their prime as well. Whether it's Bruce Brown at 27 years old, Jakob Poeltl, who's 28, whether it's Kelly Olynyk, who's 33, Chris Boucher, 31. I mean, you still got Grady Dick, last year's first round draft pick, who's only 20 years old. And then you got other guys like Ochai Ubaji, who's 24, a high level 3-and-D guy who's extremely athletic, could end up being a shutdown wing guard defender, right? And then you got other guys, like Jordan Noir. And when you look at this team, they don't really have any glaring holes. Now, I know you could say they definitely need a backup point guard. I don't think Javon Freeman Liberty actually took advantage of those minutes last season to just be like, I'm claiming this position so this team doesn't go out and get somebody else. I think they can still keep him as a, you know, third string point guard, but I think they definitely need to go out and get a backup point guard, a veteran backup point guard. If they got to trade, do a sign and trade, Gary Trent Jr., do it. Perfect. But this team as currently constructed, it's everything that my basketball mind, playing the game for the last 35 years, coaching it, training, following it, commentating, critiquing, developing athletes, everything that I've come to know tells me this is going to be a really good team, a really good team. Now, if Grady Dick takes a big jump, I think they're going to be extremely deep in terms of scoring potential. But I think quickly Barrett and Barnes is going to be that, three-headed monster. and they're going to need some bench scoring. I definitely like Kelly Olynyk off the bench. Um, and other guys potentially can be contributors. I do think they need a little bit more pop, maybe from that backup point guard position role, backup guard. But I think they're going to have all the components that you want to see on a team and the balance of versatility, guys who are different levels of playmakers, shot creators, um, uh, uh, shot makers, guys who can knock down shots on those kickouts, guys who can get out in transition and play in the half court. This team is really built to be able to win against almost any type of opponent that they're going to see next season. And so I put the asterisks in terms of where they're going to land because 7 or 8 is the likely. That's where I would project them to. But don't let Scotty Barnes take a huge leap or quickly or Barrett or all three, right? Don't let them have this kind of magical continuity and chemistry and all of a sudden they're just gelling. Don't let Coach Darko's system really become fine tuned and guys are fully bought in and they're executing at a high level. You might end up seeing an Indiana Pacers type rise. Because even though I wouldn't say Quickly is a Tyrese Halliburton, I also have to recognize that Quickly has his own skill set. He's a whole lot more Tyrese Maxey, right? He's a guy who might end up being 24, 4, and 6 on decent efficiency, or at least solid efficiency. RJ Barrett, 23, 5 and 5 on good efficiency. Scotty Barnes could end up being a 24, 25, 8 and 6, right? With blocks and steals, right? Like these guys have the type of potential and the growth outlook to where they could be scary. Now, like I said, they still need one more guy, the guy off the bench who gives them some real pop on the offensive end. I mean, if they were to go out and get somebody like Malik Monk, I think bringing in a Malik Monk, I would almost immediately say, oh, yeah, this team is going to be top 6 seed, if not 5, right? Because as much as you're looking around the league, it's like, okay, Philly, yeah, they're going to figure it out, right? Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, we know that potential. No, top 1, 2, 3 seed, right? Boston, top 1, 2, 3 seed. Milwaukee, they can stumble, fall asleep, and fall into a top 1, 2, 3 seed. They just need to be healthy in the playoffs. But then after that, okay, you got New York. Julius Randle be back. Everybody will be healthy. Mitchell Robinson be back. They'll re-sign the guys. They're gonna be scary. They're gonna be really good. Okay, so you got Boston, Milwaukee, New York, Philly, and then what? Indiana? How far are they away from Indiana? Cleveland, Orlando. How far? I know a healthy Miami could be scary, but how far off are they? Because the Toronto Raptors are one of those teams that when they have their guys and they know who they are, they beat all the teams they're supposed to beat. And they usually beat a lot of the teams that you're unsure if they can beat. And they end up doing far better and get overlooked. That just tends to be the MO for the Toronto Raptors. They're overlooked and they end up doing far better than what you thought. And then they never believe in them in the playoffs until they do what they end up doing, right? In which case it was winning a championship about 5, 6 years ago, right? But now going into this season, nobody's really talking about him. I know I'm listening to some of the Toronto Raptors guys, and they're talking about free agency and what to do with Gary Trent Jr. and if they're going to bring back Bruce Brown. But I'm a big fan of continuity. I'm a big fan of doubling down on you guys and letting them build that chemistry. Because as we saw with the Denver Nuggets, chemistry goes a long way. And as we saw with the Milwaukee Bucks, when you don't have chemistry, it can work against you to a high degree. And so I like Bruce Brown. I like Ochai Obaji, right? These are guys that I want to see back. Jordan Noir is like, okay, eh. But I really like Grady Dick. I think he's going to take a jump. He's going to come in much more confident, right? And then you still got the veteran bigs. You got Olenek and stuff like that and Jacopoto. And this team should be really good. They should be really good. They're probably missing that one last piece. But hey, if you know what the piece is, get at me in the comment section and holler at me and let me know who it is. Is it Malik Monk? Can they really get him from Sacramento? Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.